So we got some new motorcycle parts. As you can see, got some VANCE and HINES, got a mystery box up here. We're gonna start working on getting the whole stage 1 kit done of the Harley Davidson Roadster. Told you guys that this was gonna happen. This is a long time coming. Finally got some money. Decided to go for the full stage 1. So let's see what we got. Ordered everything on Brazilla, kind of like my go-to store. Let's see what we got here. Arlen Ness Big Sucker, black cover. They can send me the right one. Fuel pack, probably the smallest, most expensive thing I ever bought. That was $459. I know you guys just want to see what's in the biggest box. Nobody wants to see what's in the small box. Definitely packaged very well. You guys see down there? Those are 2 VANCE and HINES short shots. So let's go downstairs and start tearing into the motorcycle. This little box probably got some instructions. Some hardware too. Let's see what we got. Instructions. See a bracket, hose clamps. So we got removal instructions and install instructions. Starts with unplugging O2 sensors. So the O2 sensors are right here, underneath the pipe, right there, and right here. All right, we're gonna try to go step by step here. The first step is to find and unplug the O2 sensor. I found them, but they're kind of tight in there. I feel like what we can do, since both the O2 sensors are on the pipe itself, is that when I loosen them, I'll have better access and we'll go there. The second step is to loosen the heat shield clamps. These have 3 hose clamps on either side. Screwdriver works just fine. The next thing we're going to move on to is loosening the bolts on the cylinder head. So hopefully I got the tools. So these are kind of a pain in the butt. So this one's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. It's right in with a 1/2 inch. And this is the front header pipe, exhaust pipe. This one down here is a little cheeky bastard. I can get it in with a 1/2 inch open end wrench, but look how loose this is. This is factory. That's factory. That's not acceptable, guys. That's not acceptable, Harley Davidson. Come on, quality control, please. Okay, so the rear exhaust flange is literally 2 bolts that are right there and right there. Should be easy peasy. Another bolt that's stupid loose is the bottom one here. Like, it's almost got no tension on it. Like, it won't even ratchet my socket barely. That's ridiculous. If you guys are working along, these are all 1/2 inch on the cylinder heads. And the next step is taking this guy off. Let's see if we can get lucky. It looks like it might be a 1/2 inch. This bad boy is a 9/16. All right, gents, now that this clamp right here is off, there's a mounting bar underneath that runs the entire length of the exhaust from here to there. This is called the mounting bar. Gotta take all these off, and they're 1/2 inch sockets. I think it's funny to note that these are coming off down here with more resistance than the exhaust was to the cylinder head. Crazy. So this is one side loose with all these bolts out. There's 3 on each side. Going on to this one next. First oops of the day. As soon as that mounting bar comes flying off, your exhaust is now hanging. So beware. So the stock exhaust is officially off. It was a giant pain in the ass. When they say unplug your O2 sensor before you do anything, you need to do that. That was dumb. I definitely ended up struggling a little bit harder than I needed to because I didn't unplug those. Next up, this comes off. 3/16 Allen. So for the next step, after you loosen this stuff up, you can push this little tiny E-clip out with a screwdriver. That should free this whole rod up. And then this down here is your, what is it again? 5/16 Allen. Super tight. And then your foot control should just come right off. All right, foot control off. I'm trying to keep things generally where they go. I'm trying to keep things generally together, not very organized. So now this cover should come off. All right, our cover comes off. I believe the next bolt that comes off is this one, but I'm gonna look real quick. But yeah, here is the inner workings of the beast. I've had to get kind of creative here. I don't have a lot of tools, so this is probably gonna need some room to wrench, and I don't really have a lot of room around here. So I'm literally just putting a wrench on the end of this Allen and twisting a lot of things off that way. But this one's gonna need some muscle. So last bolt for this bracket here. All right, that bracket's done. And clips from the stock. This is it for the de-installation of the stock exhaust. It's a lot of stuff. It's taken me probably about an hour to get to this point, but we're gonna start going. To revisit one thing, your O2 rear connecting right here, and it just connects to this little thing right here. Your O2 front is right down there. Don't be an idiot. Just unplug them. It's not hard. I tried to cut some corners and it definitely damaged a little bit of my O2 sensor, so that was stupid on my part. I might have to get another one. But other than that, this is it disassembled. So let's start reassembly. All right, so first step of the reinstall, I unboxed the exhaust, and then I'm gonna start with mounting this bracket and then reinstalling the rear brake. So the bracket gets reinstalled with, the new bracket gets installed with your stock hardware. So if you're watching this, learn from my mistakes. Go ahead and make sure that you keep everything sorted out, because this is a lot of stuff to keep track of. I'm not a professional anything. Make your own decisions. Next up, we're reinstalling this bad boy. After getting this thing all installed, it goes in right by the brake, and I'll start buttoning this thing back up. I'm hoping that this side of things will go a little bit smoother. Considering we're putting things back together, I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. How about that? We'll say that. I'm cautiously optimistic. So I'll be honest with you, this stuff for me is kind of a challenge. I'm not a wrencher. I don't do a lot of wrenching. I won't say that I dislike wrenching, but it's not my thing. So doing this kind of stuff is always a challenge. Alright, belt drive cover installed. Brake rod and linchpin. Whew, this is a heavy chunk of American iron right here. I've never seen a bolt like this. If any of you guys are smarter than me and know why this thing has like a wood screw end, let me know. I will say Harley Davidson definitely takes your safety into consideration, because these are probably the freaking tightest bolts on this thing. I'm just snugging these up just to get it kind of roughly where it's supposed to go. And the reason why is like this right here. I've already screwed it up. I need to put this linchpin in first. I need to put this freaking brake rod in first. Oh yeah, it's making sense now. Mock this up real quick. This is all mocking up. I'm not tightening anything down. If you're doing this kind of stuff and you're not taking things apart occasionally as you put it together, then what's the point? Bam, and it lines up. Now I don't have a torque wrench for this stuff, but I just tighten the ever-loving crap out of it, especially this stuff. And down here, that was super tight. And I'll just go ahead and occasionally check on it for a little while and make sure it's not going anywhere. But rear brake is installed, cover is back installed. Right now we have mostly a functioning motorcycle again, so next up, getting the heat shields onto the new pipes. So we're gonna do it, man. I'm getting close. I'm getting pretty close here. All right, so we got the flanges all put back on. The heat shields are put on with hose clamps. Looking good, and we are ready to start finally installing. Finally. So I got the front cylinder kind of mocked up here. It's loosely tightened down here. One thing that I wanted to explain is that down here, the way that it connects to the bracket is with this thing called a nut plate. You drop this thing into here, which this guy's kind of in the way. So you drop this guy right into here, and then you put it against the mounting bracket, and then you screw it in from the other side. I didn't know that. So guys, the last things I had to install was just finishing up the nuts up here and making sure they were tight, making sure that these were tight over here, tightening everything down in the bracket, and everything else was good to go. So we're ready for our first startup. Leak